Every 4 years, the United States engages in a high-stakes ritual that determines the future of the nation, the presidential election. But not all elections are created equal. Some have reshaped the country, others revealed deep divides, and a few, well, they were just downright chaotic. Today, we're diving into 10 of the most fascinating presidential elections in American history. Buckle up, because history's about to get interesting here on History of Humans. Number 1, the election of 1800, the first peaceful transfer of power. Our journey begins in 1800, when Thomas Jefferson faced off against incumbent John Adams. This election wasn't just a political contest. It was a battle between two opposing visions of America. Jefferson's Democratic Republicans wanted a nation of small farmers, while Adams' Federalists championed a strong central government and industrial growth. But here's the kicker. Jefferson and his running mate, Aaron Burr, ended up with a tie in the Electoral College, 73 votes each. The decision went to the House of Representatives, which deliberated for 36 rounds of voting before finally selecting Jefferson. This was a critical moment for the young republic. It proved that power could transfer peacefully, even between bitter rivals. And as a bonus, it gave us the 12th Amendment, fixing the flaws in the original electoral process. So thanks, 1800, you were stressful, but we learned a lot. Number 2, the election of 1824, the corrupt bargain. Next, we've got the election of 1824. 4 major candidates threw their hats into the ring: Andrew Jackson, John Quincy Adams, Henry Clay, and William Crawford. Jackson won both the popular vote and the most Electoral College votes, but he didn't secure a majority. The House of Representatives had to choose the winner, and Speaker of the House Henry Clay threw his support behind Adams. When Adams won and made Clay his Secretary of State, Jackson's supporters cried foul, calling it a corrupt bargain. This election revealed the cracks in America's political system and fueled Jackson's rise as a populist leader in 1828. Talk about political drama. Number 3, the election of 1860, Lincoln's victory and the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln's 1860 victory wasn't just an election, it was a turning point in American history. The nation was deeply divided over slavery, and Lincoln's anti-slavery platform made him a hero in the North but a villain in the South. When Lincoln won, Southern states began seceding from the Union, setting the stage for the Civil War. The election also showcased how fragmented America had become, with 4 candidates splitting the vote along regional lines. Lincoln's victory proved that elections have consequences, and sometimes those consequences are seismic. Number 4, the election of 1876, Hayes versus Tilden and the end of Reconstruction. The 1876 election between Rutherford B. Hayes and Samuel Tilden was a nail-biter. Tilden won the popular vote and was just 1 Electoral College vote short of victory. But 20 electoral votes from several states were contested, plunging the country into chaos. A bipartisan commission awarded all 20 votes to Hayes in exchange for a deal. He'd end Reconstruction by withdrawing federal troops from the South. This compromise of 1877 effectively abandoned Black Americans to the rise of Jim Crow laws. The election highlighted the fragility of democracy and the long shadow of racial inequality. Number 5, the election of 1912, a 3-way race. 1912 was one for the history books. Incumbent William Howard Taft faced challenges from his predecessor, Theodore Roosevelt, who ran as a third-party candidate under the Progressive, or Bull Moose, banner. Then there was Democrat Woodrow Wilson, quietly building his own coalition. Roosevelt's third-party run split the Republican vote, handing Wilson a decisive win. This election showed the power, and the pitfalls, of third-party movements. It also introduced progressive ideas like women's suffrage and labor protections into the mainstream political conversation. Number 6, the election of 1948, Truman's comeback. No one expected Harry Truman to win in 1948. Polls predicted an easy victory for Republican Thomas Dewey, and even newspapers prematurely printed headlines declaring Dewey the winner. But Truman campaigned tirelessly, crisscrossing the country on a whistle-stop tour that energized voters. When the dust settled, Truman had pulled off one of the greatest upsets in U.S. political history. His victory was a testament to the power of grassroots campaigning and the unpredictability of American elections. Number 7, the election of 1960, Kennedy versus Nixon and the television era. The 1960 election between John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon marked a new era in American politics, the age of television. The candidates' first televised debate was a game-changer. Kennedy's confident and polished appearance won over viewers, while Nixon's pale, sweaty demeanor hurt his image. Though the election was razor-thin, Kennedy's charisma and media savvy made him a trailblazer in modern campaigning. It was a lesson in how appearances and communication can influence voters in ways policy alone can't. Number 8. The election of 2000, Bush versus Gore and the Florida recount. The 2000 election between George W. Bush and Al Gore was one of the most controversial in U.S. history. It all came down to Florida, where a recount was triggered by a razor-thin margin. The chaos culminated in the Supreme Court's decision to stop the recount, effectively handing the presidency to Bush. This election raised questions about the Electoral College, voting technology, and the role of the courts in deciding elections. It also highlighted the razor-thin margins that can decide the fate of the nation. Number 9. The election of 2008, Barack Obama's historic win. In 2008, Barack Obama made history as the first African-American elected president. His campaign's use of social media and grassroots organizing mobilized millions, especially younger voters. Amid an economic crisis, Obama's message of hope and change resonated across the nation. His election was a milestone in America's ongoing journey toward equality and a testament to the power of a unifying message during turbulent times. Number 10. The election of 2020, a pandemic and polarization. The 2020 election was like no other. Amid the COVID-19 pandemic, record numbers of Americans voted by mail, creating logistical challenges and political controversy. The race between Donald Trump and Joe Biden saw the highest voter turnout in over a century, reflecting deep political engagement and division. The aftermath, including baseless claims of voter fraud and the January 6th Capitol attack, tested America's democratic institutions like never before. From the corrupt bargain of 1824 to the unprecedented challenges of 2020, these elections remind us of the stakes, the struggles, and the resilience of democracy. So, which election do you think was the most fascinating? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to History of Humans for more deep dives into history. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.